If you're thinking about going back to the National Sports Collectors Convention next year, or if you want to go for the first time, I'm going to address 10 myths regarding the National Sports Collectors Convention, and this video is for you. Number one, there is a myth out there saying, hey, there is a 1 to 2 hour wait to get into the show if you're general admission. Listen, the only time there's going to be a wait on general admission is if you are waiting in long lines because you want to get in there right at 10 o'clock to run to the Rapid Redemption lines. If you have no interest in that whatsoever, what I suggest is, if you're getting general admission, wait until like 10:10 or 10:15, show up then, and you'll get in a very short period of time. You don't have to stand outside the building and walk way down the street and around the corner. Something I noticed right off the bat, it clears up very fast. As a matter of fact, general admission, they let in early prior to 10 o'clock at times when I was there. I can confirm that at least for a couple days. So that's the first myth. Two, the BO thing. Well, I see that, the National had posted some pictures and other people had posted pictures, and people are like, oh, the BO just has to be horrible. Oh, it's horrific. Show me a person that says that they're not going to go to the National because of BO, and I'll show you a person that wasn't intending to go to the National in the first place. It's ridiculous. It's not a big issue, and moving on from that. Number three, another myth going into this year's show was that there was going to be tons of Pokemon, and Pokemon's going to start taking over the show. There was a decent amount, but not as much as I would have thought. There were more than enough sports card showcases to go around. I would see Pokemon here and there. It's not really something that I look for, so it's an easy one for me. When I see it, I just move on to the next dealer or the next showcase. There was a lot less than I would have thought, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I know a lot of other shows there is tons of Pokemon because people are reporting it from around the nation, and there's YouTubers that take photos and videos of showcases and stuff showing off how much Pokemon there is. There was a lot less at this show than I would have expected. Myth 4, attendance will be down if Fanatics, or excuse me, the attendance for the show will be down because Fanatics Fest is going to take market share away. I can't... I've laughed about this so many times that I had seen somebody post about how they had run a poll, and the poll indicated that the National could lose a large chunk of attendance to Fanatics Fest. Listen, Fanatics Fest isn't for me, but that doesn't mean that I make videos about it, tearing it apart or ripping on it, because what's the point? If people like going, go. It's great. I like sports card shows. The National is right up my alley. It's wonderful. Last I heard, and I have not confirmed this is strictly rumor, but last I heard there were over 160-some thousand people that attended this year. It was an all-time record. So don't believe the nonsense that the hype of the show is dropping and it's becoming less and less popular. Also, along those lines, don't believe people when they say Rosemont is ultra dangerous. It's a suburb of Chicago. Never had an issue there. I've been there multiple times. I used to live in North Chicago for a time. This is another one of those sayings. It's like, tell me you've never been to a suburb of Chicago without telling me you've never been to a suburb of Chicago. So those kind of go hand in hand, I guess. My fifth myth is that, and a lot of people that actually collect haven't been saying this, and so I know sometimes get people that do collect but get frustrated with the hobby talk about that the market's cratering and demand for cards are dropping and card show attendance is going to drop, and some of these YouTubers make up like clickbaity headlines about the market is dropping, whatever. This show really was kind of a decent sample size, proving that the market is just alive and well. You know, the markets for certain types of things, I think could see an adjustment. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't collect that were popular. You know, I don't collect kabooms. I don't collect downtowns, but I don't judge people who do. I mean, if that's what you love to collect, that's wonderful. That's all good. You know, who am I to judge that? But the market is very strong. I know that a lot of YouTube creators, I know Neo's one of them, and some of the others talk about like repackers and stuff like that. And I saw several of them at the show, and I saw several of them in the VIP lounge, and I saw several of them at trade night. I don't doubt that they have an impact on prices to a degree because they're willing to pay high percentages in terms of comps and stuff. I don't doubt that. But I would say that the market is alive and well. I saw a $22,500 transaction right next to me as I was videoing some showcases and things like that. I mean, several $1,000 deals. I mean, people are buying and selling cards at a very, very large scale at this show. My sixth myth: all dealers are overpriced. Couldn't be further from the truth. I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If I was looking to buy a Michael Jordan rookie sticker, which I will at some point, I've never owned a PSA 8. So I'd be looking to get like a PSA 8 or a PSA 8.5. If I wanted to buy those at the show, those seem like they're pretty expensive. I saw many of them for like 1,700. I haven't checked since the show. Maybe they are about that high now, but they seemed rather high. So I guess if you're maybe looking for a specific card, that could be the case. But look, if you have a budget in like the 2,000 to 3,000 range, and mine ended up being around that 3,000 mark, there's so much to see and so many things you're going to want when you go through this show for 5 days. At $3,000 is going to seem like a drop in the bucket. So I had no problem finding cards that I wanted to buy. As a matter of fact, I had some specific cards on there, like a Crusade Blue Luka rookie and a Crusade Blue Phoenix Luka rookie. And I didn't see him at the show, or maybe I saw one copy. It's fine. I just bought other cards of Luka. I stuck with a lot of the players that I said I was going to buy, he being one of them, Barry Sanders being another. I stuck by a lot of those players, LeBron James being another. I stuck by a lot of the players, but I couldn't get the exact cards that I wanted, and that's fine. Because if I want to go back now and buy them on eBay, I'll just buy them on eBay. They're not always that easy to find, like even cards that are numbered to 500, you may or may not see them at the show if they're 20-year-old cards. There's certainly no guarantee. But people saying that all dealers are overpriced, I found that dealers are very easy to work with. You'll find occasional dealers that have cards that are pretty high overpriced. But I've never had a problem making deals with dealers. And if it's a price I don't want to pay, I just move on. I don't go online and complain about it to everybody and say that that's what the entire show was, which I know some people do. And I kind of got into it with a YouTuber last year about that because they made a whole video about it. But I digress. We'll move on from that. The seventh myth is that the National doesn't adjust, that they basically just keep doing the same things and they never make any adjustments. Okay, so 2 years ago, it was in Chicago, and the AC had all kinds of issues. It was hot in there. If you're ever going to make a case for BO, it probably would have been that year, even though BO wasn't really that big of an issue at all that year. I don't recall smelling really anybody with bad BO. Maybe one person, maybe two. I don't know. It wasn't. You'd think that would have been the year where it would have been like all over the place. No, most people are actually more hygienic than you think. But the AC was crap. The internet was rough. I didn't personally have issues with the internet, but I know a lot of people did 2 years ago. This year, the AC was working so well that there were parts of the show where it was kind of cold. Like I was talking to a dealer and I'm like, dang man, I live in Alaska and it's kind of cold over. He's like, step like 3 to 4 steps that way and you're going to have to go and get a jacket. I mean, it was really cranking. That was great. I never had any issues with the Wi-Fi and internet and stuff and phone signal. It was great. It was fantastic. They also added more tables this year. They added them to the upstairs. Now this is going to be a good test to see if they adjust. They added a whole bunch of tables upstairs, but the aisles were extremely narrow. I'll say it right now. I thought it was kind of poorly planned as far as the distance between them. A lot of really good dealers up there and great to talk to. I talked to many of them. And I bet they have that fixed next year. I bet you there'll be even more tables up there. I bet the aisles will be wider. I bet it'll be a much, much better plan. Sometimes things look good on paper and they don't turn out, and I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff. That's the funny thing. People judge a lot of things like that and they have no idea anything behind the scenes, especially people that don't go to the show. I got into it before with a guy about that when he's just basically just like, I don't understand. Like, how can I can't give an opinion on the show? I'm like, listen, everybody can give their opinion on whatever they want. But with you not going to the show, you have zero idea what you're talking about. So why are you giving an opinion on something that you supposedly hate? Like, it's just weird. It's just super weird behavior. So I don't know. That's kind of where I was at on that. But I think they'll make fixes. They adjust. They make adjustments to the show. People will disagree with me, I think, but this was my 10th national this summer, and I just think they keep getting better and better. Not everything about the show is something that I necessarily like. I don't like the expansion of the Breaker Pavilion over the years. I don't really like the corporate expansion, but they keep expanding tables at the same time, and that's what I want. So it doesn't have to be perfect for me to have a great time at the show. Myth 8, the most recent comp sets the market. I can't state this enough, especially on stuff that's rare or scarce. The most recent comp does not set the market. It gives you a guideline, sure. And if it's an everyday type of card and you've got 6 sales in the last week at a certain grade, okay, that makes sense. I got it. I'll agree. That sets the market for that card. One sale, though, in the last 6 months, and it was on an auction that ends at like 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, which I've made some unbelievable purchases over the years at like weird time auctions because I live in Alaska and we're 4 hours behind. So if you're going to end an auction at like 2:30 and somebody's not sniping, it's 10:30 where I'm at. So I'm still up and I'm still able to bid on those things. I can't state it enough. If it's a rare card, I just use common sense. I know how often certain things come up. One recent comp does not set a market. If you disagree with me, comment and let's share our opinions on it, but let's do it civilly. You know, I don't want to have a discussion with somebody that tells me that robots are going to take over society anyway because you're irrational while claiming that that's a rational thought. Yikes. Number 9. Oftentimes people go to the show and they want great deals that are great deals immediately. The super steals. I bought this for $80 and it's worth $300. You're not always going to find those types of things. I'm sure you can. I've seen some videos on people pulling stuff out of dollar boxes that are wonderful cards. You know, 30x, 40x, 50x. That happens, by the way. I bought a Rudy Gobert PMG years ago for like $2-3. Sold it for like 120 or whatever it was. It happens, but these things aren't immediate all the time. I'll give you an example. I bought one of those Moment of the Week golds, rookie of Ohtani, and he's on the card with Babe Ruth. A few years back, it was a PSA 9. I bought it for $10. It was right around the time where Ohtani prices had dipped. I think he had gotten injured or something happened, and it was a few years back now already. But I remember thinking, like, $10 for this card? Like, I'll just hold on to this. Like, I think this guy just has a tremendous future. And now that 9 is worth, I don't even really know, to be honest with you, 80, 100, 150. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's gone up quite a bit. And it's just a sweet card. I just really like it. I knew that was going to be a hit long term. My Luka Upper Deck Turkish Airlines XRC, I still had the price sticker on it. I paid $125 for it. Right around, they were going for right around that. It might have even been above comps at the time. But I just knew that card had a lot of potential. I bought it really early, $125. It got as high as probably, I don't know, $2-3 grand. Now I think it's, you know, $600-800, maybe $1,000. I don't even really know. It's not a card I'm looking to get rid of. So, but sometimes you buy things that you have a strong feeling are going to increase in value and become much tougher to buy in the future. Some of your best deals at the National are not immediate. Think about that for a second. They're not always immediate. 10, last one. The sticker price is the final price. A lot of comments on various videos about when you do showcase footage, not necessarily on mine, but occasionally, where people say the prices are just insane. Look at the sticker prices on these. The sticker price is rarely the final price at the show. Dealers mark stuff up. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been having a great conversation with a dealer, and the dealer offers me the card that I want for a great price without me even negotiating. Just automatically drops the price. The sticker price isn't the final price. You just have to have the communication skills to be able to talk to an adult and have a good conversation and see if you can come to an agreement. It was interesting. I was at a table during this year's show, and there was a guy looking at a Barry Sanders card. And I had kind of missed it, so I was kind of looking at it too. I'm just like, hey, what do you know about this Barry? He was kind of standoffish, and I'm like, well, you know, some people are, some people aren't, whatever. But you know, he was talking to me. I'm just like, oh, are you going to buy that card, or you know, is that something I can look at? He's just like, well, I'm not even going to bother to talk to him. He wants $130 for it, and it's worth like $80. I'm not even going to have a conversation with him on that. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, well, it was a pretty rare, I wouldn't say rare, it was a pretty scarce Barry Sanders card this would be one of those examples where it doesn't sell regularly. So to just say, well, I found a sale, one sale from months ago, and all of a sudden that's what it's worth, and I'm not willing to pay any more for it. You never know. The next one you find on the Bay or wherever else, maybe it's $200. I mean, who knows? Like, that's just a good example. But being able to talk to other adults and have good communication skills, sometimes that's lacking, and that's a skill that really could be worked on with experience. With that said, hey, if you haven't already, if you'd consider subscribing to the channel, that would be great. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one.